All right, Slava Rubin of Vincent, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Always good to see you.
So let's dive right in. I mean, if viewers don't know, you were a co-founder of Indiegogo, and Indiegogo definitely a known name. Vincent, your new platform, maybe not quite there yet, but tell everyone about what Vincent does, because crypto is just one part of that.
Yeah, so building off of the Indiegogo experience, really wanted to get people exposure to alternative investing. It really feels that this is a lot of momentum that we have behind it. Now you have all kinds of asset classes that people don't think about as alts, but they're all in there. Whether it's sporting cards with collectibles, crypto, real estate, venture, all kinds of stuff like art and debt. It's really fragmented, growing very rapidly, and we're the one place where you can onboard and learn all of it.
So what does alternative investing really mean? Is it everything other than stocks at this point?
Exactly, actually, everything besides publicly traded stocks and bonds. So people, it's very large, massively fragmented. We now have hundreds of thousands of people as investors looking to navigate our experience, which is kind of like a Zillow or a Kayak experience. We aggregate hundreds of platforms and all of their deals. We now have the largest database of alternative investing deals on the internet, over $4 billion of deals in one place. That's actually double since January 1st, and our company only launched 2 months before that. So, we're not even a year old yet.
So, yeah, you mentioned Kayak or Zillow, the idea being that it's an index, an aggregator. So someone would head to Vincent to see opportunities for investing. Within that, what are the types of crypto investing opportunities there are on Vincent?
Sure. So yeah, you would self-select, are you accredited or not accredited? So that would, filter what kind of deals you would look at, what kind of check size are you looking to invest, how long are you looking to be locked up for? And then let's say that led you towards crypto, you have everything from your typical basic investments on like a Coinbase, a specific token. You could be looking at some DeFi, you could be looking at NFTs. So definitely there's a lot of options. We want to provide as much of optionality as possible. And the whole idea is to educate yourself and to look at across one big spectrum.
Let's talk about NFTs, because that's right now probably the hottest example of this. You talked about sports collectibles, digital trading cards. That has been a thing for a while in terms of fractional investing. There are specific platforms for fractional investing in sports collectibles. But now NFTs in the crypto world have kind of brought all these things together. What's your take on the space? It kind of feels like there was an initial NFT boom and frenzy. Then a lot of places wrote, NFTs are dead. And now as we talk live at Mainnet, we're in sort of the second wave of the NFT boom.
Yeah, I'm 42 now. I go back to when I was a kid. I was buying my Oscar Robertson rookies. I was getting Ken Griffey Jr. rookies. So I always loved sports and I love cards. Then when you get the NFTs happening, the first wave in 2017, I didn't jump on that. But once you start
cryptokitties.
Exactly. Once you get into like NBA Topshot, which is the same people as cryptokitties, I get excited. Now it's about sports. So right away get into NBA Topshot. So that's pretty exciting. Obviously you have the first wave of the hype there, and then all of a sudden it dies down a little bit. But yeah, I think it's super interesting what's happening with NFTs, whether it's just for the art's sake, whether it's for the engagement sake, whether it's going to be for the utility of what you're going to need it for to get into a conference, into a restaurant, into some other thing. I'm very bullish. I think obviously there's the waves of, is it too expensive right now? Will people lose a lot of money? Sure. Will some people make a lot of money? Sure. Did I just buy this weekend like a cool cat? Yes. I'm not a big fan of crypto dads, because it's just like I'm a crypto dad. So yeah, generically I'm bullish. I think there's going to be a lot of losers. Just like, in the late 90s, which internet companies are you going to invest in? But you do get Amazon, right? You do get Google. You get massive, amazing platforms, but you also get pets.com.
You have given us some good data in the past on what you're seeing from your search results. People log on to Vincent, what are they searching for? What are you seeing specifically in terms of trends and patterns within crypto investing searches on the site?
Yeah, it's fascinating. So we're the only place in town that can show you how search is moving from one asset class to the other. And it's been fascinating to see crypto searching massively growing. It started from just like 5% of the 100% total when we first launched in December, our first report after November. And now we're already beyond 10%, and we grew like 9% in crypto searches this past month, meaning August. That's for our September report, which included August. And some of that was eating away at the venture investing. That's where you saw some of the drop of the 100%. So it's interesting. Venture is still the largest. Venture is still close to 30% of all the searches. And when we say venture, we mean early stage. Startups, even pre-IPO, people looking for these types of investments. So But definitely crypto is growing rapidly. I think a lot of that has to do with the Bitcoin and ETH prices going back up to the 50s until today. And then you see the NFTs just are on fire with apes and punks and all that good stuff.
What are you guys thinking about next in terms of something we could launch or business areas we could go into, categories we could go into to try and really get the name out there and boost customer acquisition?
Yeah, I mean, the first idea was to become the on-ramp for alternative investments. It's hard to know, where do I start? It's so fragmented. Everybody's just giving you one slice. And where do I look across the board? I have an extra $100, I have an extra $10,000, I have an extra $100,000. Where do I start looking for returns and yield? So we just want to give people choices to make their own decisions. And what's fascinating is how rapidly people are saying, you know what? Can you help us make the decisions? Can we actually go with you with some money and try to navigate some sort of easy robo-advisor or some sort of managed fund? So this is something we're definitely taking very seriously. We're listening to our customers, and we're exploring coming out with our own managed fund product. So that could be really interesting where, with one investment, potentially you could be exposed across all the vaults.
That's funny because the idea was to help people who have a little bit of money to play with, they want to invest, here are your options. And now to think that even that is sort of a step too much, and some people just want to say, I'll give you my money and you spread it across this area.
I mean, if you think about it, that's ETFs, that's mutual funds, that's been the rise of all these passive investments, that's a lot of retirement funds. That's really a majority of the investment market tends to be that sort of investment. With COVID and more volatility recently, it's been more of a stock pickers market, choice by choice. But I do think in general, most people have their day jobs. They like to have family time. They don't want to spend their life thinking about which specific thing should I invest into, but they want to have exposure. They want to know that when they read in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or on Decrypt that these things are happening, that they have some exposure to these alternative investments. So I do think that sort of passive investment will rise.
We started by reminding people that you were co-founder of Indiegogo. Let's return to that to finish up. I mean, where is crowdfunding these days? And are you seeing the crypto space kind of embrace that? I haven't seen many examples of the crowdfunding bug hitting crypto because in the past, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, it's usually for a cool product. We have one specific product, we want to raise money for it, and we promise that we'll send you one of the products if you give us money. Where does crowdfunding stand today? Do you see any kind of convergence of those spaces?
It's a great question. I mean, you have Indiegogo come out, launch in January 2008. That is like an eternity ago. And I would be the first to say that the entire crowdfunding industry, including Indiegogo, has not evolved a ton. And in the meantime, you have all this incredible blockchain technology. You have these incredible things that are happening with engagement with NFTs. You have various permutations of how you can get access, via OnlyFans or Patreon, other ways of doing things. And I absolutely think that there's going to be a convergence of the blockchain infrastructure, potentially tokenization, things like crowdfunding. Whether Indiegogo gets to participate in that is definitely for us to see in the future. And I think that could be part of the future as well for Indiegogo.
Awesome. Slava Rubin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Good chat.